Gun and cannon fire in London. The military celebrates the birth of the royal baby from the London Bridge to Green Park. A total of 103 shots were fired between these two events. Right now, we are still waiting to see the new baby. Prince Charles and Camilla just finished a visit to the hospital. Earlier this morning, the royal couple, William and Kate, had a visit from Catherine's parents. Carol and Michael Middleton are overjoyed after the short visit with William and Kate and the baby.
He's absolutely beautiful. They're both doing really well, and we're so thrilled.
How are the parents doing?
Fabulously.
What's that first couple like?
Amazing. It's all coming back.
And have you given them any suggestions for names?
Absolutely not. But thank you.
The public could get its first look at Britain's newest prince sometime this hour. The palace says the new family could leave the hospital this evening or sometime tomorrow morning, and network cameras from all over the world are trained on that door at the hospital. We will let you know if anything happens. Any excitement we'll share with you. Joining us now, Associate Professor of History at the University of Denver, this is Ingrid Tague. Welcome, Ingrid. It's nice to have you here.
Nice to be here.
And you teach British history at DU. What would you be doing today if you weren't here visiting with us talking about the royal baby?
Probably some research and some teach prep, actually, for a course I'm teaching this fall on the British monarchy. So
this is apropos. You can weave some of this into your lessons, probably, coming up in the fall. Is this fascination with the British royal family all about the pomp and circumstance, or do you think there's something deeper into why so many Americans follow the British royals? I thought we had sort of cut ourselves off from the British royals 200 years ago.
it does seem incredibly ironic, right, that we're so fascinated by this when our whole culture and political system is defined by rejecting monarchy. But I think actually a lot of the interest here is around the fact that there are this sort of head of state who are glamorous in the way that we like to think of the Obamas or the Reagans or the Kennedys as this glamorous family, but without all the political baggage. That it's actually the possibility of thinking you could have somebody representing the country who are supposed to be completely apolitical. And I think that's really charming for Americans, this idea that you could have a representation that isn't bound up in our extremely politically divided society.
Right, that keep calm and carry on the monarchy mentality. Well, this royal watching really didn't begin with Princess Kate and the baby and William. I mean, it's been going on for a while.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, I mean, the fact is, especially when the monarchy actually mattered politically, of course, lots and lots of people cared about who this baby was going to be and when it was. And what you see is in certain points in history around political crises, there are actually debates about, you know, will this baby sort of save the monarchy? There was a famous example in 1688, which actually led to a revolution, in which they actually claimed that there was no baby, that this was a fake baby smuggled in a warming pan, and that this was all designed to fool the country into thinking that they had produced an heir to the throne, when in fact, allegedly, the queen had not.
Wow, an imposter baby, because it was that important to make sure that the line carried on.
Exactly.
Interesting. Well, do the British view the royal family the way Americans seem to?
I think in a lot of ways it's divided in the same way that you can see attitudes in America today around people saying, why do we care about this, and other people being incredibly excited. You see some similar divisions in Britain. At the same time, it's hard not to get a little bit excited, I think, for the British. And in some ways it's like, you know, we get to make fun of our family, but when other people start to make fun of our family, we feel a little bit defensive about it. And so it's that kind of, even the most cynical people, I think, find it hard to be terribly cynical about this kind of event.
Well, as a British historian, do you think there have been any lessons learned from the way Diana was hounded, even some would say to her death, by media coverage? Or do you think it'll just be a perpetuation and what has happened before will continue to happen?
I think there is some pressure on the press now to back off a little bit. Their reputation wasn't helped by what happened to Diana. And on the other side, I think the royal family also learned an important lesson from the enormous scandals that they went through in the 80s and 90s and the sort of terrible publicity that they got. And so recovering from that, coming back from that, I think has been something that sort of trained them to be much more careful about how they appear in public. So I think it's unlikely we'll get the same kind of scandal.
Lessons on both sides. All right. Thank you so much. This is Ingrid Tague, Professor of History at the University of Denver. We appreciate your being here.
My pleasure.